The ethical treatment of experimental animals, 4R principle. The 4R principle of experimental animals is a set of guidelines that are designed to ensure the ethical treatment of animals in research. The principles are designed to minimize the harm done to animals while still allowing for valuable scientific research to be conducted. The 4Rs stand for replacement, reduction, refinement, and responsibility. These principles guide researchers in their use of animals in experiments and help to ensure that animals are treated humanly and ethically. Replacement. The first principle of the 4R principle of experimental animals is replacement. This principle states that researchers should seek alternatives to animal testing whenever possible. This could include using computer models or cell cultures instead of live animals. The goal of replacement is to minimize the number of animals used in experiments and to reduce the harm done to them. By using alternative methods, researchers can still gather valuable data without causing unnecessary suffering to animals. Reduction. The second principle of the 4R principle of experimental animals is reduction. This principle states that researchers should use the minimum number of animals necessary to obtain valid results. This means that researchers should carefully plan their experiments to ensure that they are not using more animals than they need. The goal of reduction is to minimize the overall number of animals used in research. By using fewer animals, researchers can reduce the amount of suffering and harm done to animals while still obtaining reliable data. Refinement. The third principle of the 4R principle of experimental animals is refinement. This principle states that researchers should take steps to minimize the pain and distress experienced by animals during experiments. This could include providing pain relief medication or using less invasive techniques. The goal of refinement is to improve the welfare of animals used in research. By minimizing pain and distress, researchers can ensure that animals are treated humanly and ethically while still obtaining valuable data. Responsibility. The fourth principle of the 4R principle of experimental animals is responsibility. This principle states that researchers have a responsibility to ensure that their experiments are conducted ethically and that animals are treated humanly. This includes following all relevant laws and regulations and seeking approval from ethics committees before conducting experiments. The goal of responsibility is to ensure that animals are not subjected to unnecessary harm or suffering in the name of science. By taking responsibility for their actions, researchers can ensure that their work is conducted ethically and that animals are treated with respect and dignity. The 4R principle of experimental animals provides a framework for ethical and humane treatment of animals in research. By following these principles, researchers can ensure that their work is conducted responsibly and that animals are treated with respect and dignity. While animal testing may never be completely eliminated, the 4R principle provides a way for researchers to minimize the harm done to animals while still advancing scientific knowledge and improving human health. You can send your comments by following us on BioinfoStar's social media accounts. See you in the next video. Stay with science.